A Fortnite top 10 and a Call of Duty top 10 all in the same week. Why not? Welcome to the channel, everybody. Chaos here. Modern Warfare 3 is here. Well, it's here depending on when you watch this video. And even though Infinity Ward's rebooted Modern Warfare series has been controversial, many in the community are in agreement. Modern Warfare 3 has the best COD multiplayer over the last few years. The gameplay is much faster than it's been in recent games, and the time to kill was slowed down from the Modern Warfare 2019 and its sequel, which allows for longer engagements and more back and forth fights. Plus, Sledgehammer is leaning hard on nostalgia this year and giving us every single map from the original Modern Warfare to all of them remastered, as well as a number of updated maps from last year's Modern Warfare 2. Now, yes, the campaign for Modern Warfare 3 was a bit of a disaster, but we're going to stay positive. Today, we're going to talk about the 10 best maps available in multiplayer on launch day. You let me know which of these maps you're voting yes for. Yes, map voting is back. Drop a like, and let's start off at number 10, Sub-Base. Now, I feel like this one's one of the most underrated classic Infinity Ward maps. I do. It's a shame because it's way better than a lot of people seem to remember. That snowy aesthetic made it a little tough to see enemies, yes, but sticking to the indoor areas not only allowed you to control the game flow pretty effectively, but also kept you from getting awkwardly sniped from across the map by someone in a ghillie suit that you couldn't see. COD Vanguard had their own map set in a sub-base, but it was largely disliked by the community, so I'm hoping the newcomers won't have sub-base fatigue, because trust me, this is a way better map than Vanguard's equivalent. Modern Warfare 3 sub-base captures the energy and the flow of the 2009 version. It's a good way to kick off today's list. Before we move on, if you get anything from gfuel.com, no matter whether it's a tub, a shaker, it doesn't matter, rehydration, use code CHAOS. Get yourself up to 30% off in the month of November. The link is at the top of the description. If you do use it, let me know on Twitter. At number 9, Rundown. This is one of the biggest 6v6 maps of the COD Golden Age, but it never really felt like it. Now, typically the really big COD maps like Wasteland and Overgrown, they played slow. But Rundown managed to avoid that problem. It had a lot of second floor windows that allowed you to fire across the map at unsuspecting enemies, meaning you always had to be on your toes here no matter where you were. You couldn't stay in one place for too long. And here's a pro tip. Don't hang out near the bridges in the middle of this map. Instead, run from building to building and peek out of the second floor windows to see if you can pick off unsuspecting enemies from across the map. Snipers will have a fun time here, and I also have a feeling that if Prop Hunt returns in Modern Warfare 3, Rundown's going to be fun. At number 8, Favela. Fan favorite back in 2009. It was actually supposed to be in COD 4, but had to be cut due to time constraints. Now, this map was definitely top 5 back in the day, and I feel like it's a tad lower in Modern Warfare 3 due to some changes in the game mechanics, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The map is basically the same as it was back in 2009, but things like sliding and faster managing make it a little easier to abuse certain areas, which that can do some damage to the game flow. But with that being said, Favela is a visually stunning map. Tons of different routes. I mean, you can go place to place, the rooftops, the alleys, whatever. The sheer number of alleyways and buildings for you to sneak around in is insane. And of course, there's always going to be the people running around on the rooftops, blasting everyone who dares to run below them. It's awesome. It's not quite as good as it was back in the day, but I think it's a top 10 this year. At number 7, Skid Row. It is aged beautifully. It's a tad bigger than your average 6v6 Call of Duty map, but if the layout the layout does make sure that it's always running towards the center. It funnels you to the center. It gets you into the action. The center building had some insane fights and long sight lines for snipers, while the outdoor sections got pretty intense as the various players kept trying to flank one another to get the drop. Grenade launchers don't seem to be too powerful in Modern Warfare 3, which is nice because the noob tube spam was a major issue on Skid Row back in the day. Now, some players, they were burned out on Skid Row. I get it. And they were also burned out on it in the multiplayer beta, but I think it's going to be good. At number 6, Afghan. How many of you remember going for ridiculous trick shots, throwing knives off the cliff in the middle of the map? Afghan is a medium-sized map. It has some absolutely insane areas for team fights, but the snipers, this is their map. I mean, there's so many power positions to hold, but if you're a madman, you could hang out in the cave near the B flag, torment enemies with a shotty or SMG, slink around in the shadows, catch people by surprise. It wasn't just the fights here, though. It was the flanking routes. It was the crazy changes in game flow that could happen at a moment's notice. If anybody got an aerial streak, everybody had to run for cover. 2 locations. That's it. Even more chaos. The map was awesome. I'm ready to see montage clips from the Modern Warfare 3 version. Now we get into the top 5. Quarry. I think this is one of the most unique maps in COD history. And that's thanks to the fact that it's basically a giant circle-shaped arena with a ton of verticality. It's a medium-sized map, and the original version was mainly designed for capture the flag, but it was also pretty wild in domination because of the circular design. It contrasted what most COD maps were. They were rectangular. The circular design made it easier to jump from place to place quickly, while also giving you longer but safer ways to traverse the map, and it could lead to some pretty interesting matches. Plus, if you could manage to get all the way to the top of one of those catwalks, you were basically indestructible. I have a feeling Corey might get infested with Sentinels in the first few weeks. I could be wrong. We'll see. I mean, everyone running around playing the game like they should. We'll see. At number 4, Rust. I mean, 1v1 me on Rust, bro. Rust is an iconic map, and I'm shocked it hasn't been remade more times throughout COD history. It's one of the smallest 6v6 maps ever made, but it doesn't quite feel as mindless or unfair as maps like Shipment or Nuketown. That's mainly because of the big structure in the middle of the map. Add some verticality to the combat while also helping to block off certain sight lines for safer spawns. It's an awesome map, but I'm going to put it at number 4 because there's always going to be segments of the community that don't like super small maps, and I get it. When it comes to super small Call of Duty maps, Rust is one of the best. Certainly going to be the go-to map for Modern Warfare 3 grinding camo challenges, I have a feeling. But I also have another feeling. Sledgehammer is going to bring Shipment back within the first few months of the DLC. We'll see. At number 3, High Rise. It got a lot of playing time during the beta, and for good reason. Not only is this map iconic to COD history, but it's also just a great map. It's pretty big, flows very quickly, so you never feel like you're out of the action. Even if you spawn in the back corner, it doesn't matter. Snipers could take you out from anywhere, but you could leave yourself totally exposed to counterfire if you stayed in one place for too long, and the new COD community was quickly starting to find all the cool flanking routes and secret passages in the beta. High Rise was one of those maps that everyone voted for when it came up in the original Modern Warfare 2, and I have a feeling it's going to be that way this year as well. It is a perfect example of a map that punishes you for running around out in the open, but it also punishes you for staying in one place too long. That's really hard to balance. At number 2, Scrapyard. It was brought back in Modern Warfare 2019 as DLC, but the community was pretty lukewarm on it because of the terrible spawns, which was a shame because this was one of the most popular maps in the original Modern Warfare 2. In fact, I'm willing to call Scrapyard one of the best maps of the COD Golden Age, and I'm happy to report that the Modern Warfare 3 version is much closer to the OG version than the 2009 remake. Modern Warfare 3 Scrapyard has solid spawns, maintains the layout of the 2009 original, meaning it's very fast-paced, very intense, and you should only go inside the planes in the middle of the map if you have a shotty in your hand. Scrapyard's an exciting map. I personally think the modern COD community is going to grow to love it. And then at number 1, Terminal. I've personally called this the best map in COD history multiple times throughout the years on the channel, and I still think it's all-time top 5. Is it the best ever made? I'm not sure, but it's definitely top 5. I can't wait for a new generation of COD players to experience. It's truly a map that has it all. You can rush, stealth, snipe, heavy weapons, doesn't matter. You could do everything. Terminal is a medium-sized map, lots of routes, power positions everywhere, and everybody has their own favorite place to lock down. Some people tried to lock down the top of the escalators. Others tried to lock down the gift shop. Some people like hanging out in the cockpit of the plane in the middle of the map. Some people got on top of the plane. Terminal was awesome. I have no problem calling it the best map in Modern Warfare 3 at launch. Now, if this is how COD 2023 is starting, fingers crossed we're in for a good year of content. We'll see. Let me know what you think the best map is going to be.